A very good evening and welcome to another episode of On Point. I'm your host, Patria K.
And I'm Dennis Chung.
And there's lots happening, but certainly a lot happened last week in Jamaica. Top of the list for you?
For me, because I was in the board meeting, it touches my heart, the matter of the truck that fell on the school child.
7 years old at Clancarty.
Yeah, that one was, I mean, it wasn't our truck. It wasn't operated by NSWMA. We were at board meeting at the time, and you know, when we heard the news, I mean, everyone was just saddened by it, you know, because we just felt the tragedy. We actually sent a management team there, even though we confirmed it wasn't ours, you know, but we know that it was something. Once it has to do with garbage, then people are going to focus on NSWMA, and we knew that we had to do something about it.
You can't be human and not feel after seeing that tragedy. You can't be human and not spare a thought for his little 7-year-old classmates, for the entire school population at Clancarty, his parents. No parent should ever have to bury a child. I've been there, it hurts.
I mean, when you send a child to school and then, you know, that happens, it's
freak
really
accident, if ever there was one. An interesting move announced by Sagicor that they are actually going to be allowing some of their workers to work from home. That, I think, is a really good move. I come to understand that there are some government entities who've already taken the lead in 2014. eGov makes sense. They are the electronic platform of the government. I mean, they decided that workers could work from home.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I mean, when someone works from home, their time is more productive. They don't have to travel in the horrendous traffic that we have out there.
Or add to it.
Right, and it costs them less, you know, because they can just get up, you know, once they have the discipline and start working, they're a lot more productive. It's a lot more friendly because they can now work while also being family friendly.
Absolutely.
You know, so and for Sagicor it makes sense because they don't have to find the accommodation for people at work, you know, pay the electricity. So it's a win-win.
I think there are two considerations. One, you can't fry chicken from your house and serve me. There are obviously some jobs that are always going to require that someone
unless it's virtual chicken,
which I don't want, right? If you're customer facing, there's some jobs that are going to require it. You need a receptionist to answer the phone, etc., etc., etc. But also, there has to be a way to measure that productivity because there are some people who are going to get the opportunity to stay home and just sleep. Put on their pajamas, turn up
you pay based on output.
Exactly. We need to be clear about what your output is supposed to be. And as far as I'm concerned, once people are hitting targets, work from
it don't matter where they work from.
Win-win all around. Well, folks, this week on the show, we're taking a look at brand Jamaica in a different kind of light. We're looking at the orange economy and just how much Jamaica can benefit from the orange economy. Obviously, this conversation coming around because Kanye West saw the opportunity to brand merchandise with Jamaican symbols and sell them on his website. We're talking about what are those properties that we own in Jamaica and how can we make money from them?
But first, here's a look back at some of the top business stories of the week.
At number 5, Facebook has sued an Israeli cyber surveillance firm for allegedly hacking users of its encrypted messaging service WhatsApp. Facebook says NSO Group Technologies hacked into the phones of roughly 1,400 users, targeting human rights activists, political dissidents, and journalists. Facebook says the lawsuit filed in San Francisco, USA is the first legal action of its kind. At number 4, MPs in the United Kingdom have voted overwhelmingly for a general election on December 12. This breaks the impasse over Brexit and is Prime Minister Boris Johnson's 4th time calling for an election. Prime Minister Johnson leads a minority government and is hoping to secure a majority in Parliament. Meanwhile, the European Union has formally granted the UK an extension to the Brexit deadline on January 31. At number 3, the Antigua and Barbuda Parliament has given the Gaston Brown-led administration the green light to secure a $15.8 million loan to buy additional shares in regional air carrier Liat. At number 2, Mailpack Group Limited says it plans to come to market with the largest junior market offering in Jamaica's history later this year. There are no details on the initial public offering IPO yet, but analysts say Mailpack may try to raise as much as $500 million Jamaican dollars. And at number 1 this week, the Caribbean Policy Research Institute CAPRI says based on a recent study it conducted, Jamaica's anti-gay laws and discriminatory practices cost the workforce around $11 billion annually. CAPRI says hostility towards gays is preventing the country from earning more from tourism while adding a huge financial burden to the island's mental health services. CAPRI says discrimination alone adds $175 million to the cost of treating mental health among the LGBT community.
When we come back, we look at how Jamaica can tap into the global orange economy. After the break, we're on point.
Outsourced finance and accounting service. Growing companies face a challenge. For you to stay focused on building your business, you need solid financial management with a dependable accounting function, a resource you may not have in-house. That's where we come in. Dodgen Global provides startups and other businesses with outsourced accounting and finance solutions on a fixed fee basis. No matter what your size or fundraising status, we can tailor our services to fit your needs at every stage of your company's life cycle. Whether you want to add expertise to your existing team or completely outsource your accounting and finance functions, we offer reliable and economical options, including accounting system installations and upgrades, from simple to complex, help establishing preferred banking, legal, payroll, benefits, and HR relationships, paperless online bill payment and bookkeeping, financial reporting and advice for management and investors, financial statement audit management, sales tax compliance. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global, website https://dodgen.global.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to On Point. Now, recently there's been a lot of talk about the orange economy and how Jamaica can benefit from it. But what is the orange economy? Take a look.
According to UNESCO, the orange economy, also known as the creative economy, is the bringing together of sectors of the economy whose main purpose is the production or reproduction, promotion, dissemination, and or the marketing of goods, services, and activities that have cultural, artistic, or patrimonial content. The orange economy is usually divided into two categories, the visual arts and the cultural industries. The visual arts include art in movement such as painting, sculpture, installations, and video art, photography, the performing arts and shows such as theater, dance and puppetry, live music, tourism and ecotourism, handcrafts and traditional products, gastronomy, historical centers and archaeological sites, cultural expressions and traditions such as carnivals and festivals, and education in the arts, culture and the creative economy, among others. While the other category, which is the cultural industries, provide goods and or services that can be mass reproduced and disseminated. This includes the publishing industry that produces books, newspapers and magazines, recorded music, literature, radio and the audiovisual industry to include film and television, news agencies and other information services. New media content, software such as video games, digital platforms, software creation and applications, animation, graphic arts and illustration, jewelry, interactive audiovisual content, architecture, fashion, and advertising also form part of the cultural industries category.
Join us now, our Executive Director, at the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, Lily Claire Bellamy, and U.S. Arts Envoy and copyright activist Amanda Colleen Williams. Welcome to On Point, ladies.
Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I'll bold the first question and ask, what makes brand Jamaica so sexy?
Oh, well, it is everything that is Jamaican makes us sexy. The name Jamaica, everybody wants to use the name Jamaica. And if you think about it, we're a very small island, but I don't think there's one person in the world. Probably that's an exaggeration, but most people know Jamaica and associate Jamaica with a great vibe, warm, affectionate people, music,
food.
Exactly. Everything about Jamaica
Sports,
resonates.
athletic.
Exactly. We have the distinction of being one of the first countries in the world that had an athlete that won both the 100 and the 200 meters, right? And we take it for granted. So now when our track and field athletes go overseas, if they don't bring back several gold medals, we're upset,
yes.
right? So we came third at the World Championship and we still weren't happy because we thought we could have gotten more medals. And if you look at the list of all those countries that fell below us, they should have done better than us.
Yeah.
But we're just distinct and special. I think we're really blessed in this country. And people are always amazed when they actually come to Jamaica and see all of the differences. We have the beautiful mountains, we have the sea, we have the sand. We have such a vibrant people. And another thing that we don't appreciate that we have and we take for granted is how we are as a people. So you will see our guest, for example. What is his name?
Dennis.
His surname.
Sean.
Exactly. Look at him. That's not normal in the rest of the world. And we take it for, you know what I mean? But we take it for granted, right? Things like that we take for granted. And if you notice now, there's all this discussion about biracial and mixed. You are growing up and
People are people.
exactly. So all of that is what helps to make us so special. And if you've ever been on a plane coming back home with people returning to Jamaica who have been overseas for a while, especially if it's a transatlantic flight, the flight starts out extremely quiet. And the closer it gets to Jamaica, is the more exuberant the people on the plane become. And when the plane lands, you would think they had just witnessed a wonderful concert.
Round of applause.
Exactly. And everybody is like, I'm at home. So one time, I said to somebody, I said, what? He said, I'm at home now. I can't say anything. Nobody can say anything to me. So I said to him, how long have you been away? The man, not a Jamaican born, he's a descendant of Jamaicans. But as far as he's concerned, this is home. This is a place where you can be free. And this freedom is why we are so creative, because things we take for granted, like I don't know if there is anywhere else in the world where I did an interview recently and where I buy my gas. The gas station attendant looks at me, she said, Miss B, what a way you put on weight. No, anywhere else you go in the world and somebody said that to you, that may be cause. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said to her, yes, my dear, but better to be fatter and alive than slim and dead. So we both laughed, okay? But that sort of thing that we just take for granted, we're so creative and innovative, and I don't think we understand how creative and innovative we are. Have you seen the push carts with the sound systems on them?
Yes, yes.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
How much of that can we bottle and sell?
We can bottle and sell it, but we don't think it is anything, which is why we're not bottling it and selling it. We think it's normal, and it's not normal.
Well, Amanda, your view, what's your view? Because you're not just a copyright activist, but we learned you're a songwriter and a singer. I mean, that must have give you some attraction to Jamaica also.
I have to agree with everything that Lily Claire is saying, because it is a special place, and I never thought about before. Just being a new person in the Arts Envoy with the U.S. Embassy, I didn't ever think that. Yes, Jamaica is a very small island, and compared to a lot of the other places in the world, but yet you'd be hard pressed to find anybody anywhere that hasn't heard of Jamaica. There's all kinds of little islands I've never heard of, but Jamaica has its own vibrancy, like she's describing, its own specialness, its own brand, as we talk about. But it's more than that. It is a soul that comes forward and that resonates with not just the people here, but with people all over the world.
What's the Jamaica that you heard about before you ever came here? What did you know Jamaica for?
Well, I don't know if I'm a good answer of that, because when I was still a teenager, barely 13, my dad was a songwriter before me, and he struggled very hard. He was injured, burned 60% of his body before I was born. That was normal to me too, to look at him that way. But when he had his first success, his first #1 in the States, where did he want to take the family? Here.
Which one was that? The first #1?
His first #1 was a song, it was in 1989, it was called If the Devil Danced in Empty Pockets, He'd Have a Ball in Mine. And it was a saying that he had heard, and they made it into a funny kind of a dance song. And it was a guy named Joe Diffie. And right about that same time, they call it the class of '89, my dad started writing with Garth Brooks, who also just, you know, amazing person to look up to. So for me, it was amazing when I came to Jamaica. We went to a place up in Runaway Bay. I looked it up again and found the name. It's FD Resort. It's still there. And it was appropriate for kids to be there. So I basically laid in a hammock the whole vacation and hung out with the locals.
Yes.
And so I didn't have any impression. I just thought it was the most amazing place, and this is where you come when you have success, to celebrate and to soak up the culture. And it was so funny because my dad, I'm from a place in the mountains, it's called Appalachia, and we have kind of a similar issues, because a lot of people want to be hillbillies or the country people, but yet maybe they see what that is on TV and they don't really know a real person from there, you know? So coming here, it felt a bit like coming home in a way.
And so it's very interesting that you talk about the experience about where you're from, because there are lots of people around the world who want to create their version of Jamaicanness. Not Jamaican, perhaps never been to Jamaica, but purely are looking at the commercial opportunity of brand Jamaica. And I think the difficulty is some people outside are finding ways to exploit and capitalize on that more so than we are here. Where's the gap? Is it that we don't have the kind of entrepreneurial push? We don't have the money? We don't have the machines? Where's the gap?
I don't know if it's that we don't have the money. I think it's that we don't recognize what we have. So you have entrepreneurs in Jamaica who think, no, this isn't something that would sell, but it would sell.
It is selling.
And it is selling, but we take it for granted. If you wake up every morning in Jamaica and you see the sun shining, the day the sun isn't shining, you have an issue. But if you are in England and you wake up every day and you see a gray sky, the day the sun is shining, it is fantastic. So we take what we have for granted and think that it is normal and that nobody would want it. So it's almost to peel the veil off somebody's eyes for them to see, yes, this is something people will buy. Just make it of a good quality and sell it. People will buy it. That's the whole thing. But what you need to do is to ensure when you come up with your idea that you protect it. So you need to take steps to put your intellectual property rights in place. You need to register your trademark so that when you go out there and you start, because unfortunately, and we've seen this happen in our office, where sometimes persons go on a trade show and intellectual property rights are jurisdictional. So if you're protected in Jamaica and you're going on a trade show to the UK, you need to have your trademark protected there.
In the UK?
Yeah, because what happens is we go to these trade shows, and unfortunately sometimes it's members of the diaspora who see the product and then they replicate the product.
They have the capital.
Yeah.
They have access to market.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a little man with a great idea who jumped on this opportunity to go to a trade show, who is barely making ends meet, barely able to pay his or her staff, How do they find the funds to protect themselves?
But Patria, what you have to look at, and this is what I always say to people, you can have 100% of nothing, or you can share, and you can have a percentage of something that is extremely successful. So when I say to people, if you're entering into a contract with somebody, you should go to an attorney. They're going to charge me too much money. So you don't pay the attorney and you draft your own contract, which isn't sometimes worth the paper that it's drafted on.
You go to the lawyer that is Google, take down a sample contract, and that's the one that they use.
Right, and then so you have that contract, so you're happy because you have a contract, but it's not a good contract. And so you didn't spend any money, so you are getting 100% of $1. Okay, so you're getting 100% of $1. When you could be getting 50% of $1 million, which is better. But we're like, no, it's mine, and I'm not willing to share. So sometimes a small person needs to partner with somebody who can invest. So both of you are going to benefit. Yes, it's your idea, and you've converted it into a product. But you need somebody to give you the step up. And perhaps, Patria, what people need to understand is, okay, I have nothing, but I have this and I think it can work, and somebody recognizes it can work. You probably have 1 million other ideas that, so you partner for the first one, then you get your money and you use that to invest in the other ventures that you have, and you're 100% owner of all of those others.
How expensive are we talking about this process to protect
in Jamaica, to protect your trademark for 10 years in one category, it's a grand total of $17,800.
17,000.
17,800 for 10 years.
Jamaican.
Yeah, for 10 years. And the Development Bank of Jamaica, they have vouchers that can assist you with your IP. There are lots,
grant vouchers, free money.
Yes. There are a lot of agencies of the government of Jamaica that will assist small entrepreneurs. If people come to Jaipur, we will direct them. I mean, that's not our role and function, but we share in government. If you come to Jaipur with something and it's not relevant to Jaipur, we're not going to say, sorry, please leave. We'll say to you, I think you need to go to the DBG. I think you need to go to the Exim Bank. You have a good idea for an export. Yes, perhaps you should speak to somebody at JAMPRO. You should speak to somebody at JBDC. So we share. So people need to just come somewhere where somebody you think you can talk to. We will guide you through the process.
Just before you go where you're going. So I protected myself with my $17,800 in Jamaica, but the reality is the big pie is not here. The dream of export is a real one for many of the people in the orange economy and all kinds of other economies. Let's say I'm going into the United States. What's it going to cost me to protect myself there?
It's going to cost you probably about, and don't hold me to this, but probably about $200 US.
It's about $30,000.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that bad, Patriarchy.
No, but
what I'm saying is you can still get that voucher. You can get that voucher from DBG and say to them, I want to protect my intellectual property in these markets where I'm seeking to exploit it. And again, it comes back to, you might find somebody who can go in their pocket and say to you, here's a check, go and get the 500, go and get 500 US, we can partner. But then you need to work out the arrangement.
The issue really is not just the $200. I mean, Amanda, if someone is coming to the US, for example, how receptive are people to partnering with them? I mean, there are legal costs and all of that also that they have to deal with, huh?
Yeah. I think there are people who are very interested in partnering with small business right now. It seems like we've just gotten here on Sunday, but it seems like the entrepreneurial fever is really hitting not just here, but the States even. It's a new movement toward that, and I really feel that just even a few 5-10 years ago, when you'd say, someone asks, what do you do? If you say I'm an entrepreneur, it's sort of they laugh. That meant nothing. Mm-hmm. But now it's got a title of respect. And so I think that especially in a place like Jamaica that has such an inherent brand to it, and it is difficult. It's like Lily Claire's saying, if it's you can't see yourself. My dad, I love what he said. He told me when I was a kid, you can never look yourself in the eye. And I said, sure you can, Daddy. I'm looking in the mirror, I can see myself in the eye. And he says, no, that's your reflection. So we need each other to see ourselves for what is really special about us. Because it's like Lily Claire says, someone could be the most incredible singer or the most incredible fashion person or the most incredible narrator, and they're not going to see themselves that way. It may be the most obvious thing to everybody around, but that is the importance of that partnership.
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I want to have a discussion a little bit around enforcement, how it works in the US. If you go to a bar and hear someone singing your songs, what rights do you have? And also here in Jamaica, what kind of enforcement muscle do we have? We'll talk about it some more on Point.
Internal audit. Internal audit service is vital when organizations aim to achieve reliable financial reports and regulatory compliance, navigating risks, streamlining operations, and promoting stakeholder confidence. The benefits of a high-quality internal audit are limitless, especially when you secure yours from a firm with deep industry experience, exposure to hundreds of organizations, dedicated professionals, and proven methodologies. Whether you're looking to establish an internal audit function, attain or maintain compliance with various regulations, mitigate your risk of fraud, or gain an overall assessment of your internal controls, you can count on Dodgen Global for reliable and timely business solutions. We've helped organizations nationwide and across industries to establish internal control structures, create an internal audit function, or improve an existing one, and maintain regulatory compliance. We provide ongoing education as regulations and public perceptions change. We are trusted advisors for management and boards. External auditors can be confident in our work and its results. Let Dodgen Global be a turnkey solution for your organization. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Welcome back to On Point, folks. We're talking about the orange economy and the opportunities for Jamaica. Our guests in this segment, we have Amanda Williams, who's a copyright activist, and we also have Lily Claire Bellamy, who's had her hands full in the last week or so, dealing with lots of copyright issues. She's she's head cook and bottle washer at Jaipur. Let's leave it there. Ladies, thank you for staying with us.
Amanda, before the break, Patria raised a question about enforcement, and if you were to go into a bar and saw someone singing one of your songs, how do you deal with that?
Well, that's one of the exclusive rights to copy that you have. So when you talk about copyright for a song, a lot of people think it's copyright, it's something you write, but it's actually the rights to copy. And one of them is the right to publicly perform. So when you have a song that as a songwriter, I write the song, and then I would publish it and make it available to the public in some way. So then if I walked into a establishment anywhere, someone was singing my song, I would be happy about that because the collective rights organization would be there to collect the royalty that would be generated from that. Now that would be in an ideal situation. Sometimes there are places where they're either not signatory or for whatever reason that particular performance is not counted, and there are those kinds of things, and that can be frustrating. But typically, it's a good thing to have your song being performed in that way, because then that would generate more interest, and then people will develop a preference for it and then seek it out.
How robust is that machinery in, say, the United States? How confident are you that if there's someone in Boulder, Colorado, up in the hills somewhere, singing your song, that you're going to get some royalties off that? That somebody's going to hear it, somebody's going to know, somebody's going to catch that and know that that money needs to come back to Amanda in some way, shape, or form?
How confident am I in that particular part? I don't know that I can say that every performance is counted that way, but it's sort of, my dad would say it's a numbers game. You put all this out there, you know, that it's both sides, because if I keep my stuff to myself and I don't allow it out, then I have all the rights to it. I can be sure that it's always collected and monitored.
But then you earn nothing.
Earn nothing, or very little. But if I take the risk, if I step forward with the material in a planned way, as we were talking about, some people just think you just put it out and go, it's a business. You have to think business-like with it. You have to have your plan, and you have to execute that plan.
I think the fear for some of the smaller content producers, music producers in Jamaica is, let's take, for example, radio royalties. They pay radio royalties, they don't listen to every single station, they can't go to every single party. And as far as I understand it, it is those that get the most airplay that the majority of the royalties go to. So if one community radio station decides to play a one song from a small artist, because he's not in heavy rotation, he may not ever get anything. Do we, in the process that we have now, not look out for that small man? Is there something that needs to be fixed?
We definitely can improve the monitoring systems as technology gets better. If you have the app, for example, that you can hold your phone up in a place and it'll tell you, you push the button, it tells you what song is playing. That technology can very well and should very well be being used more robustly, especially like you're talking about with the smaller radio stations and with the smaller venues, because like you said, what's 30 cents more to the millionaire, but yet the 30 cents to the family can make the difference between having the money to buy the groceries. And so you're very much right in that.
So Lily, how do we use technology here? Do we have something
We have actually, Amanda is going to be sharing with our collective management organizations at the Ligani Club. Because we do have vibrant collective management organizations in Jamaica, and they work well and they pay out regularly. So for example, I know Jam Copy, which is a reproductive rights organization, they'll have a payout in December of this year. JCAP just celebrated 21 years of existence in Jamaica, and they have paid out millions of dollars to Jamaicans who are members of the collective management organization.
But I'm going to stick up in, because the JCAP payouts are more to foreign rights holders than they are to local ones.
Yes, but that's not JCAP's fault. You know whose fault that is? That is what we play and what we listen to. So if you listen to the radio, how many of our local artists' work is being played versus other works? So if Amanda's work is in heavy rotation on a Jamaican radio station, she's a member of a CMO, she's gonna get the money. If you have a song and it's not being played, you can't get any money.
And so this is where
what it is it's what our playlists are.
Yes.
So our playlists determine the royalties.
But this is where it gets tricky, because the In the Streets man will tell you, authentic, gritty Jamaican dancehall is not radio worthy. What you go to the dancehall and hear them playing in its rawest, truest form will never make it to terrestrial TV or to a radio station, because it's not clean. It's not fit for airplay. And so those people, how do they benefit?
But they still go to events,
They're going to wedding and passa
they go to events, they do, which is why when you see those ads on TV that say, if you are having an event, you need to get the license, that's why. Which is why, and this, you see, one hand can't clap. So if I'm having an event, I need to get the license, because at the end of the day, the same person who I'm saying, but him is a big artist, why I'm begging me? But you didn't get the license, you don't want to pay out the money. So when he's a big artist and now 10 years or 20 years down the road, he's suffering, is because only 10 people come into my party, right? So I don't need to pay you a lot of money because only 10 people are coming.
Gotcha.
And that's where you will get all of the authentic music being played. That's not necessarily on the radio station. But if we're not being honest, then
right.
So it's a circle. So everybody has a role to play.
Yes.
So everybody needs to participate in the process. And the other thing, sorry, I just want to say this. The other thing is, we need to become members of our collective management organization so that they can grow.
Yes.
You understand? Because they're all members of the international bodies. So it doesn't matter. All the money goes into the pot, and then the money gets distributed as appropriate. But all of us have to be willing, because when you said, oh, you know, I had a party and I told them I'm having 5 people, when you really had 5,000, yes, you get a lot of money, but then the people who made your party work, they end up with nothing.
So what they're supposed to do then, and I don't know if this is how it works also, Amanda, they actually pay a fee to the recording.
Which they?
Yeah.
The person who's holding the party.
Okay.
And then they will come and monitor it, yeah? That's how it works?
There's different ways, and I don't know how it works here in Jamaica, but one of the businesses that I've had to, they say, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. So during the songwriter lean times, which it's been very lean in terms of the royalties in the certain aspects, we started a venue. So I get to see both sides of it. And I definitely understand, you know, you see, I make a joke, it takes me a long time every month to figure out how to pay myself correctly, because you're trying to pay for the song part, and you're the performer, and you're the recording, and you're the producer, and all of these things.
Yes.
And all of these roles have value. You know, you hear about the producers that get upset because they say now, well, if I don't get my money on the front end, I'm not getting anything. And you can understand how quickly someone can be very upset by that. And I can empathize with those feelings too. But the way that it works with our venue is that you register as a venue, and then you pay a certain amount of a blanket fee, and then each quarter you submit a set list of all of the music that's played there.
So you need to keep track of your playlist.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And it is a lot of paperwork.
And I can see how the DJ who wants the spontaneity, wants to feel out the crowd, isn't having this structured, pre-rehearsed kind of vibe coming into his party. When you look at him and tell him, party, at the end of this, I need to know the songs that you played, says, you just killed my creativity.
Yeah.
Well, he can have an assistant. You know, that could be even more somebody that comes in, an intern, somebody that's learning. Their job is to write down the songs.
Good solution.
But isn't there any way we can develop better technology that does all of this? I mean, the songs are digital now, eh? So, I mean, you can tell what the title of a song is just by plugging something in.
Yeah, partly, but what if it's a live show? That's another thing. I mean, you talk about room for innovation. There is a giant opportunity for some very smart, technologically inclined person. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible to do that right now, but it will be.
I want to go back to protection and protection of things Jamaican. What right now have we protected?
What do you mean?
So,
like the Kanye West
Jerk,
situation.
Blue Mountain.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we have several intellectual property laws. You just mentioned jerk. So that jerk is Jamaica jerk.
Jamaica jerk in particular.
Yeah, it's protected as a geographical indication.
Not jerk.
No.
So I can put paprika on a piece of fish and call it jerkfish, and that's okay.
Yeah, you can.
Did we miss the boat?
Well, we're not the only ones, you know. Cheddar cheese, cheddar. There are a lot of things that have the potential to be geographical indications that have lost their distinctiveness and have almost become generic. So to get them back to that level, it would mean that you literally have to claw it back to show why it is so distinctive and so unique.
So we've got Jamaican jerk.
We have Jamaican jerk, we have Jamaica rum.
Jamaica rum.
Yeah, we do. We have rum. So we have rum and jerk as two geographical indications protected under the Protection of Geographical Indications Act. And there's something I must say which is important, because the government of Jamaica is a signatory to the World Trade Organization trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights agreement, the WTO TRIPS agreement,
Yes.
right? So under that TRIPS agreement, there are two articles that focus specifically on the protection of geographical indications. You have a higher level of protection for wines and spirits than you have for other goods. But because we are primarily producers of goods, the government amended our protection of geographical indications law to give the same level of protection for goods as for wines and spirits. So basically, yeah, I'm going to go through it. So basically, no, you can't say Jamaican jerk style or Jamaican jerk type. It is just like you can't say champagne style or champagne type.
Our version of Jamaican.
Right, no, because we have that higher level of protection here in Jamaica for our authentic geographical indications.
I know you're going to explain, but I do want to ask. I
Yes,
just have to
no
stick the
problem.
pin. Why wouldn't anything Jamaican apply? So why do I have to get a specific designate protection for rum and for jerk? If it's not made in Jamaica, why in the world would you be able to call it Jamaican?
Because there is no protection for the names of countries. From the year 2008, the government of Jamaica has been making attempts at the World Intellectual Property Organization, which is the United Nations body with responsibility for intellectual property rights protection, to get country names protected, right? So that people, yeah, but Patricia K, we come right back to the beginning of this program. What makes us so special? Everybody wants to be a Jamaican. Everybody wants a piece of Jamaica. So there has not been a great take-up from the other member states.
Ghana don't want to protect Ghana, Trinidad don't want to protect Trinidad, the USA doesn't want to protect the USA, make America great again.
What you have to understand, Patricia K, is when you travel and when you go in our supermarket or any store in Jamaica that sells any product, I'm giving you that exercise, and anybody who is watching this program, I'm giving you that exercise. I've gotten in trouble because I've gone into stores and I see people buying a Jamaican product, and I say to them, you know, you're not buying authentic castor oil. You're wasting your money. Right at the cashier, I'm telling them that. I said to them, that's not going to do anything for your hair. Your hair not going to grow. It's not going to help you. You may as well put it back on the shelf. The Jamaican one is this brand. And so the person will go back.
Even though the name has the name Jamaica
it says
in
Jamaica, there's no Jamaica in it. But there's no international protection to stop persons from using country names. So tomorrow morning you could wake up and you could call a product Barbados, whatever, or Guyana, or whatever, because it's not protected. And there are a few countries who are supporting us at WIPO, but not that many. So it's because, again, there are only a few countries that other countries want to use their country names, and we're one of them.
Top of the list.
All right.
Yep.
We have to leave it there, ladies. I mean, it's a very interesting conversation, and there's a lot more, Patricia.
I'm going to name everything.
You haven't even spoken about your favorite singer, Kanye West, yet, and what he did here.
I'm going to name everything, all kind of things. Amanda, the conversation must continue.
Yes.
Clearly, there's a lot to share.
Yes.
There's a lot of discussion that needs to happen, and we thank you for spending the time with us. Lily Claire,
Thank you.
you're ours. You're Jamaican, Lily Claire. And you're not going anywhere. We appreciate having you on the show today.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, thank you for joining us here on Point.
We take
And when
a
we
break.
come back, numbers. and word
Jamaica
on the street.
numbers.
Yes.
Corporate restructuring services. In today's evolving commercial and economic environment, businesses are continually seeking opportunities to manage operating costs and tax positions, as well as contain cash expenditures. Entity structuring can help achieve these goals, but often presents many challenges for multinational corporations. In addition, the OECD's Base Erosion and Profit Shifting (BEPS) proposals are expected to impact the bottom line of affected organizations and result in some business restructuring. Crow Jamaica delivers an integrated approach to clients' corporate and reorganization needs. Services include simplifying group structures, executing domestic and cross-border transactions including mergers, demergers, disposals, and company migrations, transferring assets and business units, aligning legal structures to business models, establishing national or regional hubs, converting subsidiary company structures to branch structures and vice versa, integrating legal structures following a merger or acquisition, providing practical advice and assistance throughout the planning, development, and implementation phases of corporate reorganizations. Crow Jamaica assists businesses and other advisors in developing and implementing efficient, cost-effective legal structures and business operating models. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email people@crowjm.com. Website www.crowjm.com.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Welcome back to On Point. The orange economy contributes significantly to the overall global economy. Just how much? Here are the numbers.
In 2011, exports of creative goods and services reached $646 billion globally. Measured in trillions of dollars, if the orange economy were a country, it would be the fourth largest economy in the world after the United States, China, and Japan. It's estimated that the orange economy provides some 144 million jobs directly and indirectly globally. Almost 1.77% of the world's exports of creative goods originate in Latin America and the Caribbean. More than 64% of these exports go to developed economies.
Our On Point team hit the streets and asked, What can the Jamaican government do to help the country profit more from our creative industries?
The government can help the creative industry by having a place where these people can go, and the government can subsidize them a loan to, you know, to whatever, how much money they need to start their business, to get themselves off the ground.
First of all, the creative industry has helped itself by recognizing it is an industry and not a hustle.
So for the creative industry, I know that for most of the times, creatives have a hard part in the pricing. Now, people don't value art in Jamaica as they should, so anything over 10 grand, people don't want to pay for it. In order to help produce that, in order to help build that, it would be great if the government can push more artistic foundations. We have Edna Manley, and we have youth that do a few courses, but that's it. What do they really do in order to push the creativity of Jamaicans to make more art, to make better art? Right? We have a lot of mediocre art, and we have a lot of talent in Jamaica that is not being utilized. But for the government to actually help us, they need to invest in us. And investing in us not only meaning the schools, but individuals.
I think everything, all of them should come under one umbrella. So, and form like an organization, and, you know, probably the government can sponsor that organization.
Government can help the creative industry by educational programs to allow them to understand such things such as copyright, and maybe, you know, loans or grants, because at the end of the day, Jamaica needs, you know, diversification when it comes down to different fields. You know, not all of us can be accountants and lawyers. You know, the creative industry is one that should be cherished and one that should be pushed forward for young people.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test. It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test.
Free eye testing is back and it's here to stay. Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply. Make your appointment today at www.islandeyewear.com or call us 630-1180. Island Eyewear, your style, your price.
It's Island Hour, free eye test.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Lots to talk about, and that was an interesting discussion.
Very interesting discussion. You know what hit me though is that we've been talking about this thing for so long, and we haven't taken advantage enough of the Jamaican name. I mean, people take more advantage of Jamaica than we have, you know, from a profit point of view. Jamaican music, you know, reggae music, or sports, you know, it's just like we have a lot of the things that we have here that are brand Jamaica is made in China.
Go to a souvenir shop anywhere in Jamaica and check out the actual items that are in there. The vast majority are not made here, and that's a travesty. I think we still haven't figured out the formula how to commercialize that magic that is brand Jamaica. And I think of so many opportunities that we could have and should have done it. Every 4 years Olympics comes around and we do what with that opportunity? Reggae Girls the other day, every time we have Sumfest. I mean, so many of these opportunities where we are shining stars, batting way above our weight. And we do what with that opportunity?
We don't, because the truth is that we've taken so long to, for example, infuse reggae music into tourism. We haven't been able to infuse the sports into tourism, which is I think that is where Jamaica needs to focus on tourism. But we haven't been able to create a tourism brand that is really authentic Jamaican brand tourism. You know, we're still selling it as a sun, sea, you know, that sort of thing. The hip strip, for example. I mean,
you are team hip strip, Montego Bay hip strip. You are.
I mean, we should be making $600 a night per room on the hip strip.
Here's another opportunity I think that we need to look at. So we very much are dependent on the tourism, the actual 4-5 million people who come here, and as much as we can extract from their pockets when they come here. But the power and weight of a brand Jamaica, I mean, Amanda talks about the fact that when her daddy made his first #1 song, he wanted to come to Jamaica. And that seed was planted long before he came here. Go on Amazon, go on any of those selling platforms, and there's so many Jamaica branded items that are being sold by some Arab man somewhere or some Chinese man somewhere. We also need to recognize the opportunity that is the global marketplace. People who will never be able to afford the thousands of US dollars or pounds to be able to realize that dream and come to Jamaica, but who still want to drink coffee out of a Jamaica cup and feel like they're there. We really need to recognize that very many of those opportunities exist. They are low-hanging fruit. And I don't think this is only a government imperative. I think it's going to take some really creative entrepreneurs to recognize the worth and capitalize on the opportunity.
Yeah, you know, well, the truth is that the entrepreneurial class is really just starting to come back after that FinSac debacle. But you're right. I mean, we just have not been able to take advantage of the situation.
Well, folks, that's where we have to call it quits for Jamaica on Points today. I've got to say a big thank you to the Jamaican crew working on the other side of the cameras. Thanks also to you, the viewers at home, who tune in every single week. Until next week, I'm Patria K.
And I'm Dennis Chum.
On Point.
On Point was brought to you by Dargin Global.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life surrounds art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
everyone, and welcome to Chill Spot. On this episode, we'll be talking to Kamal Banki, a man who wears many hats. He'll be talking to us about his life as a DJ, a promoter, and a PR consultant as we hang out right here at the beautiful Sandals Ochi Beach Resort. So don't go anywhere. Chill Spot begins right now. Hi, Kamal. How are you?
Hi, Candy. I'm great.
So you've taken us here to Sandals Grand Ocho Rios, which I'm very excited about, but tell us why this is your chill spot.
Well, so I live in Kingston, which is, in my opinion, the cultural mecca of Jamaica.
Right, absolutely.
But sometimes you want to escape a little bit and come and chill somewhere outside of town. 45 minutes with the new highway. Yes. Ocho Rios is a perfect spot to chill, and this is the #1 spot to chill in Ocho Rios.
Well, I haven't seen very much of it, but from what I have seen and experienced just in the first 5 minutes, I'm very excited
Well, take
about
it from me. I'm here all the time, and believe me, there's the world to do here. Great food, activities, lots of fun.
So that being said, what exactly are we going to be doing today?
Well, a little of this, a little of that. I mean, we're going to have some lunch, of course. We're going to taste some cocktails at the bar. We're going to do some sports. I'm a big sports fan.
I would imagine that Sandals has a lot of food options and places for us to eat. Where exactly are we going to be eating here? Which is your spot?
In true Jamaican style. And this is actually the best kept secret of Sandals. Oh, they brought a drink for you.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, delicious. Like I said, all in the first 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
All in the first 5 minutes.
The best kept secrets of Sandals. They have some of the most delicious jerk in the entire country.
Are you sure?
I will tell you this. The people that know me best know that I'm a real foodie. I cook, I own a restaurant, I eat like copious amounts of food. I know food. And I can tell you, the jerk hut here, it's giving Scotches a run for its money. I'm gonna let you decide.
You're making me
better.
salivate, okay? So.
It's probably better.
All right, so what are we going to be doing first?
So the first thing is that I'm going to show you the property. This property is actually really cool. It has two sides. So you have the beach side and the manor side, and you have excellent food and drink options on both sides. But we're going to check the bar up here. It's lovely.
Perfect. I'm ready to get started. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, I thought you meant the first move for all of them. Coming up.
From what we've done, conservative estimates are somewhere about $1.5 billion Jamaican pumped into the economy because of the Dream Weekend effect.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
So, a man who wears many hats. You are a DJ, you are a promoter, and you are part owner of a restaurant, Ribby's. Let's start with the promoter side and the business of entertainment. How did you get involved with Dream Entertainment?
So, Dream Entertainment is, in my opinion, one of the most dynamic and, leading entertainment companies actually in Jamaica. Dream Entertainment started from the Dream Team, which is a group of promoters who basically do a lot of the signature events across Jamaica, and we decided that we're going to unite and join forces to bring some of the events that we all were doing in the grill under one banner. So I was doing an event called Wet and Wild with my partners down there on ATI. Some other people were doing some of the ATI parties, some people were doing RTI parties, and we joined forces along with the Smirnoff exclusive team and brought you the best events on one armband. So that's how Dream Weekend was born. Dream Weekend has had a significant impact, not only on the entertainment industry, but generally on the Negril resort town. Obviously, the concept of what Dream is was started by ATI. So they were the originators of that whole party weekend concept.
That whole idea, yes.
In Negril. And if there was no ATI, there would be no Dream Weekend. But we think that we've refined it and made it a bit more workable and marketable internationally. So right now we get about 20,000 people to Negril for that weekend.
Wow, 20,000?
Yeah, about 20,000. And based on the latest surveys that the JTB has done, about 51–52% of those are actually tourists.
International, right?
Yeah, not Jamaicans who come home for summer. People who live and work abroad. Mainly from the eastern seaboard of the United States, including Toronto, the United Kingdom, and basically we have representation from all continents. From what we've done, conservative estimates are somewhere about $1.5 billion Jamaican pumped into the economy because of the Dream Weekend effect.
Would you say having that significant impact on the economy is your greatest accomplishment where Dream is concerned?
Impact on the economy in terms of direct spend is, I think, number one. And a close second is direct employment between, you know, security, bartenders,
Absolutely.
lifeguards, safety people.
You guys have a lot of employees for that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we bring down in excess of 300 people to the town. That's our staff for the weekend. And then you have contracted employees and, you know, people that are coming in like DJs and stuff like that.
What would you say is unique about the Dream experience?
If you understand how Negril is laid out geographically, it's a 7-mile strip on the beach with hotels, party venues, restaurants, bars, all the way up. Now, there's nowhere else in Jamaica that you have that. Very few places in the world actually have that logistic, you know, benefit, and you're able to keep events there. So while there are actually bigger venues in Jamaica, single event venues, the whole logistics of people staying where they're partying on one strip, and then we're actually able to use shuttle buses up and down the strip so people don't have to drive anywhere. That's unique, you know, and they can hop from restaurant to bar to party to their hotel to somebody else's hotel, you know, basically for 6 days. That is, in my opinion, one of the greatest experiences ever.
Very convenient, I should say. And what can patrons expect from this year's staging?
Well, so we have, in my opinion, the most high energy event anywhere in the world, which is Extreme Wet and Wild. The energy that you get at Extreme Wet and Wild is unparalleled. There's nowhere else that's doing something like that. We have a concert. We have great artists, great DJs playing on every event. Our sponsors for this year, Appleton Special, they're back on board. They're actually owning some of the events. So you're gonna see, you know, a different presentation of the look and feel of some of these events, the bars, you know, what we serve there. It's a higher level.
What would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions about being a party promoter or being in this industry?
That it's fun. Yeah.
So it's not?
It's a lot of hard work. I work so that you have fun. So basically, you know, when people are enjoying themselves and whatever, I'm kind of a lot of the times in the background, you know, making sure everything is
right. But it really does seem so glamorous from the outside. I really imagine that as a party promoter, you guys would have a lot of fun doing it.
I feed off the energy, you know, so I enjoy seeing people have fun. I myself am worrying about 10 million things while it's happening.
Right.
So I don't necessarily get to enjoy it, but
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, seeing people enjoy themselves is one of the reasons why I do this.
All right, so let's take off the Dream hat now.
Okay.
All right, and let's put on the Ribbies hat.
Cool.
Okay, and tell us how that started.
So, a young man named Garth Walker, who is a good friend of mine and also part of the Dream team, decided to have this Wealth Grillers team entered in the Jamaican All-Island Grill-Off. Being a foodie myself, you know, I was always, you know, passionate about food and cooking and grilling and whatever. Ribby Chung, who is a person who started Asylum and Cactus and Quad and those places, he was known at times to go behind the grill and, you know, grill up some stuff himself. And of course, Don Creary, who is a self-proclaimed master chef, right? We were invited by Garth, who cannot cook, to be the actual chefs on the team while Garth served the food. So we went and we entered this All-Island Grill-Off and we started cooking together. The first year we entered, we actually came second overall, but won in a few categories. And then the second year we won overall. And yeah, thank you. And then the whole process of bonding and coming together, we had this rapport and whatever in terms of, you know, partnership. Garth being not at all skillful in the kitchen or food and beverage, he is a media man, he's an events man. But the rest of us who are loosely involved in entertainment and promotions and, you know, being a promoter myself, food and beverage, intrinsically, we said, hey, you know, let's have a little bar, let's do a little bar. And an opportunity came our way to take over the Acropolis Arena. And, you know, we kind of said to ourselves, well, you know, It's a nice little chill spot. You know, we can have, you know, a few drinks after work, invite some of our friends over. And, you know, we started July 1st, 2013. And basically, it's blossomed into one of the most amazing entertainment night spots in Jamaica.
And do you have any other professional pursuits right now?
Yes, I'm a PR consultant. I do corporate PR consultancy and strategy. I've been doing that for maybe about 10 plus years with some big corporate clients.
Right. And I think I was told that you're also a DJ.
It's always been a serious hobby of mine. I was DJing on and off from high school. You know, every high school kid wants to get involved, have a little sound, whatever. And then when I went off to college in America, we kind of disbanded. And then I turned, you know, a promoter. And then now, you know, back in the saddle in entertainment, I was like, yo, let me try and do this again, because I really like it. And then I kind of took it a little bit more serious. And yeah, I'm a professional DJ now. I play all over the world. And,
oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And as it relates to those fields, what have your accomplishments been so far? I know you said you DJ all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, what has been really, really a great honor was, you know, I've been named a couple of times over the years to entertainment advisory boards for the government.
Okay.
So.
And you currently do that?
Well, I'd start back in 2008. I was named as a director of the Jamaica Information Service of the advisory board. And I was deputy chairman of the Agricultural Investment Corporation, AIC, through the Ministry of Agriculture. Then I was named to the Entertainment Advisory Board in, I believe, 2012, and named chairman of the Jamrock Summer Working Group, which is an entertainment tourism project.
Well, you know you're doing something right, eh?
No, back on the Entertainment Advisory Board, I'm the entertainment person on the Tourism Linkages Council, chairman of the Entertainment Network in the Ministry of Tourism.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was getting confused just listening to the list.
As I say,
exciting,
it's
though.
an honor
Absolutely.
to be, I mean, you know, you dedicate your life to an industry, and I guess that's the best way that people can say, okay, yeah, you're actually, you know, one of the leaders in the industry, so I'm honored.
How would you want to be remembered in this industry?
Every single thing that I try and put my mind to, everything that I'm involved in, I want to change it slightly, put my spin on it, and be innovative, and I guess be remembered for being an innovative person and somebody that changed the industry.
All right, Mr. Banky, well, what's next on our agenda for today?
So our tour continues, Candy. After having a refreshing drink, we're actually going to go now and play some sports.
Oh, God.
We'll see how fit and ready you are for summer.
Definitely gonna embarrass me, but let's go.
Coming up.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life runs art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
off the mark. Are you warm now?
I'm ready. Let's go right now.
All right. Oh! Finally. But so far so good with this resort. I'm very excited though about this food that's about to come.
Listen.
Very excited.
All right, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. You know, I said earlier, it's giving Scotches a run for its money. Arguably better.
What?
Yeah. It's not Portland authentic jerk,
Right.
but it's the closest thing. I mean, it's really
Well, I'm
good.
very excited to experience it.
And I mean, at a resort, at a hotel,
Yeah. Unheard of.
hats off to Sandals.
All right, Kamal, so I want to get into your childhood.
My childhood.
Yes. So let's talk about how you were raised, where you were raised, where you grew up. Do you have any siblings?
Before I was 10, I lived in Cayman Islands, Bahamas, United States, and Jamaica. Came to Jamaica when I was 6. And first school I went to, actually, most people don't know this, was Monique All Age in St. Anne. That was the first school I went to. Then I moved to Peter and Paul, undoubtedly the best prep school in the universe.
After Mono. Okay, sure.
We're not going to argue on camera, but we know the truth.
I think you know the
Fair
truth in your heart, so let's proceed.
Fair enough. And then I went to Campion for high school. That was my early...
Sorry to cut you, but the best school in Jamaica is a girls' school, so I don't expect you to have attended that one. But again, you may continue.
You mean Andrews?
Yes.
I was head boy of Andrews. Absolutely. I was a head boy
That's a
of
good way to
St.
put it.
Andrew High. I mean, I went to Campion, but I was the honorary head boy of St. Andrew High for girls. Spent some time there. And of course, you know, being myself, very interested in integration.
Right.
Yeah, secondary school integration. I was championing the movement for integration of all schools.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one brother and one sister.
They're older or younger?
Both older.
Okay. So other than coming to Sandals to relax and take a vacation, what else do you like to do for fun?
So it's difficult for me to have fun a lot of the times when I'm, you know, hanging out in Jamaica because my business, my work is entertainment. I'm here, I'm always on. You know, I'm at Ribby's most nights, and that's work. So it's only when I actually get to like travel that I actually have fun.
Rest, yes.
Yeah, so I rest, I chill, whatever. So for me, travel is it. I'll pop up in a new country, you know, and I explore it, rent a car, drive all around, you know, and really try to see everything that a country has to offer. Go to good restaurants, bars, night spots. That's what I like to do.
Okay, and what would you say is next for Kamal Banki?
I'm gonna be a lawyer. Just kidding.
I'm like, curveball.
No, I'm going to continue in entertainment, just trying to do bigger and better stuff, working on different aspects of entertainment. You know, along with my partners at Dream, we actually have some really cool stuff that we're working on right now. Hopefully we can announce it very soon.
Okay, great.
Look forward to bringing the best of entertainment to the world, and hopefully the world loves it.
Well, Kamal, thank you so much for taking us here to Sandals Grand Ocho Rios. I had a fabulous day learning to play chess, playing tennis, basketball. Oh! Yes! Woo! Woo! Everything was just perfect, so thank you so much for sharing it.
Thanks so much for coming, and we're happy to have you.
Well, I'm looking forward to relaxing for the rest of this day, so...
All good.
And that's it for this episode of Chill Spot, where we hung out with entertainment entrepreneur and so much more, Kamal Banki, right here at Sandals Ochi Beach Resort. Until next time, I'm Candy for Chill Spot. Bye. Is that a lizard on the course? If there's a lizard there, we are... No, it's a leaf. I was supposed to say, we're not going over there if there's a lizard. We are not going over there.
Hey everybody, my name is Kamal Banki, and I am an
The whole purpose of putting him here was to kill you.
Because you don't understand what
Yeah, but I didn't know he could only move in an L. I thought you were just saying like one of the main features of him is he can move in an L. This is stupid. I quit. What was that? They want to know advice on being a great host. And that's really easy. Like, be named Candy King. Here, Flip.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
This week, it's all about nurseries. I'm Janelle Pantrico, Creative Director at Spaces, and we're going to be talking about things to consider when decorating a nursery for the first time. So when we think about decorating the nursery, usually it's not a big room in the home that we find a lot of people paying a lot of attention to for decorating. It's only in recent times that we've realized that people are now exploring the options of actually decorating the nursery and being really creative with the space for the newborn baby. So one of the things that we find that people are doing is experimenting a lot more with the color scheme options for the nursery. Typically used to think and find only blue for boys, pink for girls, but now there are a lot of different color scheme options that we see our clients utilizing and asking for in their homes. So one of the common things you realize when you're picking a color scheme for a nursery is that you typically go with more pastel, neutral shades of one color. So you find that shades like coral, light pink, as opposed to using more intense colors like red or things like that. For mixing of colors, you find that there's more options out there apart from just using the primary colors that we've been traditionally using. And you find that once you're willing to experiment and open up to the new trends that are out there, you can really personalize the space for your baby. So another key component when decorating your nursery is deciding on what pieces you need in addition to the basic, which is the crib. Storage is of importance. You realize that the baby has tons of clothes and diapers and all sorts of other things that are going to need place. And in order to operate efficiently, we always suggest that you consider storage. So thinking of using probably like a dresser, like a 6-drawer, 9-drawer dresser that can also double as a changing tabletop if you buy the appropriate safety changing tops that can be attached to your dresser. Thinking of utilizing the closet space by going vertical, adding more shelving inside the room so you can put baskets that can store diapers, onesie, and all sorts of other things that you'll need for your newborn baby. And we also don't want to forget the mom while we're also outfitting the nursery. I mean, it's important to have a very comfortable seating spot for mom where she can do her nursing, whether you consider using a rocker, a recliner, or maybe an accent chair. An accent chair is also a great way to add some more personality, and it's another decorative element that can enhance the nursery space as well too. A great piece to add to the room, which adds some character as well, and is also for comfort purpose, is adding a poof or an ottoman. You can get a poof that's just decorative in nature that you can put your feet up and rest while you're doing your nursing, or an ottoman that also offers extra storage space as well. That can be used to store some of the baby's toys, etc. in there. So it's also a very useful piece in the room as well. So another consideration when purchasing pieces for the nursery is to look at how these pieces can transition with your child. So we're going from the infant stage to the toddler to your perhaps may even be in the same space to teenage years. So you want to invest in pieces that can transition with your child. There are a lot of options now available with cribs that can, if you buy the kits with them, that can be transitioned into safety beds, full-size beds as the child progresses. And two, you may not necessarily want to go with kid-size furniture, so if you can look outside of buying youth furniture as like an appropriate dresser that can transition with the child, you may not necessarily want to buy a pink one. White would suffice, and that can transition with a girl or a boy as they go through the stages. And while safety and storage and all those elements are important while you're decorating your nursery, it's also a fun time for the parents to be as well. So I would suggest that they take their time, enjoy the process, and just look forward to the coming years and the time that they're going to spend with their child in that room. So right now I'm actually excited because in our next project we'll be working with Kalila Reynolds. So in another couple of weeks, she and her husband will be welcoming their baby, which is a girl. So we're excited to work with her on this project. I have some ideas already for the space, and she has some ideas too. So we're going to meet with her at our home and see how best we can collaborate and make sure that we have the most perfect room for her baby.
I like I said, like the mint green. So probably like maybe this color. Plus it's preservation, it says.
Right.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands.
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hi again, it's Janelle from Spaces. So we're back. We're now at Kalila Reynolds' house. Just before the break, we were at the store discussing tips for decorating your nursery. Right now, we're getting ready to go inside for the first time. I have a little bit of concern because Kalila is about 34 weeks pregnant, and ideally, we would want to have the nursery ready by this time, just so that, you know, any scents from the paint and everything would have had time to evaporate, and that the baby would be coming into an environment that's all ready. And two, you never know, at 34 weeks, the baby could decide to come early. So one of the concerns Kalila had when she met with us was that the space she has designated for the nursery is on the small side. We at Spaces actually specialize in small spaces, so while that may be a concern to her, there are a lot of ways that we can manipulate the space in order to get maximum utilization of the space. So we're going to take a look and see how best we can help her. Hi. Kalila.
Nice to meet you.
Same. So guys, we just took a look at Kalila's nursery. It's a small room, but it's not a big challenge for us at Spaces. It's definitely a workable space. We can put inside pretty much everything that Kalila has on her wish list. So we're just gonna delve in more and find out what exactly she wants in the space, and if she has already any inspiration that she's seen, so we can work with and try and see if we can get her exactly what she wants. So Kalila, have you been looking at any concepts or ideas for the nursery?
Well, the only thing I really have on my list that I want is the color scheme. I really like the combination of mint green and lavender.
Right.
And possibly gray can go in the mix too, as a trimming or some combination of those colors.
Okay, that's a wonderful color scheme. It's actually a very nice and soothing palette. You don't want to put any colors that are too bright or going to be too energetic in your room, because you do want to create a very relaxing and calming atmosphere for the baby. So what we can look at is ways of incorporating those colors. You know, you're gonna have your soft furnishings for the nursery, for the bedding. You have window treatment options, and of course the main focal point is the paint color that you'll ultimately choose for the walls. So let's take a look at this color palette here and see if we could probably pinpoint a color that jumps out at you. I usually recommend for my clients, because the chips that you get from the paint store, the colors, depending on the lighting in your room, may not reflect ideally as what it is on the paper.
This I know.
You've had the experience.
The color of these walls right now is not what I thought.
So I do suggest starting with a quart size, test it in the room so that you can see how the lighting will affect the space. So we can probably pick out one or two from here, and then we can narrow down, and then you could go ahead and get the quartz. We test it on the wall and see if we still like the color, and then we can work from there.
I like the mint green, so probably like maybe this color. What's it? Preservation, it says.
Right.
And a
then
lavender.
we're going to try and find something that's in the same tone as it as well to complement it. So finding a color scheme is where we start off first. And as you hear, I mean, the inspiration can come from anything. You may have had a bedding that you liked already for the crib, and we can use that as a color palette. Or we're working with the color scheme, and then now we can start choosing the bedding and the other things that are going to go into the space. Some of the things that we also need to consider is storage. Having a newborn baby, as you know, you're going to have like diapers, you know, all your onesies and everything. So I realized there's a cute little space that we could actually put some shelving and create a little cubby hole that will give you some extra storage inside the space. So what we want to do is to maximize on the small space that we have. So doing vertical floating shelves, probably can go ahead and put those in as well. If you have a dresser, that can double as storage as well as your changing table.
Right.
So that's another option that we consider. And then we can look at, you know, having a nice comfortable chair for you so that you have somewhere you'll be able to nurse the baby.
Another concern that we had is, you know, designing on a budget, because we don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on this. Kids grow stuff out so quickly too. We don't want it to be dated too quickly, that by the time she's 2, it's looking like a little baby's room and she, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely a real concern. One of the things that we can do is probably do some DIY projects for the nursery. And it's a great way to personalize the space. I've looked around your home and I realized there's a couple paintings that you pointed out to me that you did yourself. And it would be a nice project if you could personalize some canvas pieces for the new nursery. So that's one way you can save on the budget. Another thing too is not necessarily using the colors on the wall, because again, paint is something that you may have that for a couple of years. So you could go with a more neutral color on the wall, say the gray that you mentioned that you also like as well. So that could be the base color for the wall, and then we could introduce the other colors in the window treatments, in the bedding, and those are things that you would have disposed of in a couple of months or so forth. So that's one way that you could save on the budget as well.
Yeah, that works.
Mix and match pieces, you don't have to get everything new. If someone has a crib that they can hand down, you can always refinish that.
Yeah, perfect. One of my friends is giving me a crib.
There you go, and that's a huge savings right there already. You may find a dresser around the home that you could probably repurpose, that you could have sanded down and painted in maybe a white or something like that, that your baby can grow with. So she could go from baby stage to toddler into her teenage years with a nice solid piece of furniture. Another great and fun way to personalize the nursery is with accessories. You could use stuffed toys, personalized artwork on the wall, nice inspirational quotations. These are things that you could do yourself. I mean, again, if you are on a budget, not everything necessarily has to be store-bought. And again, it's something that you may want to keep as a memento, as a keepsake for the child as they grow up. This is what mom did for you, and it would be a great way to keep memories of the process going through. Another nice accessory to add is we always forget the windows, so they double as preventing too much sun to come in so that the baby can sleep throughout the morning and so forth. But it's also another way of adding a nice other layer and element of decor into the space. So we can look at probably doing something like Roman shades in like a fun print as well. So there are a lot of options we can do. I mean, I'm gonna go back to the office now that I've seen the space and come up with a nice, great design concept for you.
Do you have any ideas for the floor? I was thinking maybe a rug.
Okay, sometimes a rug is a great option, but also too, depending on the baby, I mean, some children are born with allergies, so you may not necessarily want to have a rug that might cause any allergic reaction. Something that you could consider is probably like a play mat, which you could either get with like the alphabet and the numbers, which is something that with as they get older is something that becomes like a useful learning tool for them as well.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are fun.
Right.
And then I was looking at these two dressers.
Those are just?
Yeah. This one matches the crib, but this one is much cheaper. Price is another thing.
And these are dressers or chest of drawers?
Chest of drawer.
You wouldn't do the dresser?
What do you mean by dresser? The one with the mirror on it?
One. Well, you can buy it without the mirror, and then it could be the changing table like how they have this here. So this is actually a dresser, and they just put a changing pad on there, which you can strap down.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've seen the space, we've taken our measurements, and we've met with the mom-to-be. I'm excited to be working with Kalila, so I'm gonna head back to my office now to get started on our plan. We only have a couple of weeks, so I have to hurry and make sure I get things right. So see you guys back here in about 2 weeks' time.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
So this is the nursery. This is Nerice's room. She's now 2.5 months old and I love it. It's actually one of my favorite rooms in the house. It's very calming. I love this chair. It's like, oh, you just get to crack back and feed her and rock her and whatnot. So she's going at it right now. The crib was a hand-me-down from a friend. It was her baby's crib, and now it's Nerice's crib. I love the color scheme, the purple, turquoise, and gray. Janelle really did a great job in designing the room from Spaces. The wallpaper was provided by them too. And some of the accessories we got online at Amazon.com. Daddy did a whole lot of work in here, as you can see. You saw the before images. He did all the painting, put up the wallpaper. Him and his dad put up the chair rail, the baseboards, as well as the shelves. And you can see her tiny little clothes, tiny little closet. Some toys and some books are up. And everybody really loves this space. We come in here, sometimes we come in here just to relax, because it's one of the cooler rooms in the house too. Because of the window, the breeze comes through this window to the back. The window treatment is awesome. This was done by the team at Spaces, so we're overall really happy with the room. The wall decorations were provided by Janelle too. She gave us those as a present from Spaces, and I think they look really, really nice in the room. They just add that extra touch, the little feminine touch. We have a nice walnut colored dresser too with some silver hardware that goes well with the room. And we just use that as the changing table. We bought a changing mat and put it on top. And that's where we change her. Fits all her clothes. There is space as well by the shelves for box of Pampers, box of wipes, go through those things, many a day. So it comes in very handy. It's a small space, but she's a small child, so it works out very well. The doll, the Cabbage Patch doll, was my older daughter's doll. She had it since she was her age. My older daughter is now 15, So that doll is now 15 years old. And the dress that she's wearing used to be her dress as well. So it was a dress for her as a baby. And now the doll wears it, and doll has a new owner. So it's Nerese's now. And she and the doll is same size. Overall, I just really enjoy this space. It's such a calm, relaxing area to come. I want to thank General Pantry from Spaces and her entire team as well for all the hard work that they put in so that we can have a room we truly, truly enjoy.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canosol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up a Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
You think in terms of the academic qualifications of my siblings, I would probably be the least of the academically qualified of the lot. Because the rest of them have gone on to do big things, really big things, academically and otherwise. My oldest sibling was a professor at Harvard, and Roy, one of my other older siblings, was a justice on the Supreme Court bench, but all of the others have achieved something significant. One of my sisters, Hope, was a doctor, unfortunately passed 2 years ago. So we've come from this pretty humble background, and I don't believe that we've forgotten where we've come from. We have used that as a launching pad for really the development of our own personalities going through life. I was a normal boy, I believe. My father was rather reserved. You know, he would come in from work and sit on the veranda in his nice little rocking chair, and he would contemplate what I don't know. He didn't talk a lot. My mom was more of the person to instill the kind of framework of discipline and that type of thing. But combined, I believe they did a good job in molding us. So I don't think we had a difficult childhood. We made do with what we had, and each of us in our own ways, you know, kind of learned from those experiences and developed into who we became. My school days, of course, was where I began my formative sporting career, if you wish. The high point was a low point, actually, in my high school, because for reasons best known to himself, then headmaster Mortimer Geddes felt I should repeat fifth form. So I spent an extra year in fifth form, but it also meant that when they changed the school year from whatever it was, I got an extra year in sports. So I recall in my last year in schoolboy sports, they were questioning my age because I started playing school sports very early. From about 13, 14, I was a member of the school's cricket team and football team and hockey team. And so when I got into my 6th year of competition, there were questions as to whether or not I was an overage. But I was within the legal limit. So, you know, I think from there, when I graduated from Titchfield, I did A-levels. I went to work immediately at the tax office in Port Antonio and was transferred 9 months after then to Anotta Bay in the tax office. And from there, I got a scholarship to the University of the West Indies. So I had 1 year of working life. I was a very senior member of the tax department in Anotta Bay because I was the only high school graduate on the staff. And they made me what is called an executive assistant, which meant I was next to the collector of taxes in Anotta Bay. So at a very young age, I learned what it was to manage people and to manage my time. So, and then I got this scholarship, a government scholarship, to the University of the West Indies. My older brother Roy and my older brother Winston were both graduates before or were both students at the University of the West Indies. Winston, when I was there, he was a year ahead of me. And I moved into Taylor Hall. And all 6 of my siblings who went into the University of the West Indies went through Taylor Hall. So we have a very close affinity to Taylor Hall. So moved into university, Taylor Hall, spent 3 years, graduated with a bachelor's degree in history. And then I started to do a postgraduate diploma in management, but work intervened because I was then promoted from the company I began to work with, Market Research Jamaica Limited. I was then promoted to the research executive position and then the general manager. And therefore, that kind of took precedence over my academic studies at that point in time. So even though I was accepted to read for an MSc in economics, I didn't pursue that. My opinion is unimportant. And even if you go in there with a mindset which is different from how the data comes out, that's not your business. Your business is to generate the data in the most professional way. And in the final analysis, however the data comes out, that's what you present.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Doggin Global Business Process Outsourcing. Doggin Global can help you with your day-to-day administrative and secretarial needs. We provide solutions for streamlining your accounting and bookkeeping procedures, so you can get on with running your business while knowing that all the accounting and statutory needs are being taken care of. Our BPO services include the following: bookkeeping, preparation of budgets, management accounts, and periodic financial analyses, provision of temporary or part-time accounting assistance, design and implementation of accounting systems, preparation of accounting manuals, payroll services, corporate secretarial services, assisting clients with their business entry strategy into the country, setting up new legal entities, maintaining minutes and other legal documents, non-executive directorships, preparing and submitting annual returns. For additional information, contact us at email info@doggin.global, website www.doggin.global.
Market Research Services Limited is a full-fledged market research provider. By that we mean anywhere there's an information need, our organization is there to provide it. So that is the widest possible explanation or interpretation of what we do. In the last 25 years thereabout, I have become known as the pollster. But I want to put it in proper perspective because the political polling that we do is the loudest of all the work we do, but really represents about 10% of our business. Because the other 90% is conducting research for a very wide range of public sector companies, public sector entities, private sector companies, huge corporate bodies, financial institutions, manufacturing companies, name it. We have done research, and I sometimes challenge my students that where I teach sometimes that I don't believe you can name an industry that we have not done research in. And we have some really huge clients that we have worked along with. It's information, we gather information, we analyze data, we provide reports, we make presentations, and from what we do, huge marketing decisions are made. We've gone away from the era where a lot of business decisions used to be made from the seat of the pants, which meant that, people would sit in the boardrooms and say, I believe that this could work, And depending on who was most dominant, they would go in a particular direction. I'm happy to make the point and make it quite strongly that today, there are very few companies that are making decisions without the basis of good, solid information to guide them. And I think that's where our benefit really is, in providing the kind of reliable, credible, accurate information that companies of all kinds use to make decisions. We're talking about in the political arena as well, So we believe we provide a very important role, and I believe that research really is the pivot of all of our marketing activity worldwide. We pride ourselves on running a very professional organization. We, unlike a manufacturer who would sell a product that you can take and use and evaluate and so on, we have two things on which our company is built: credibility, confidentiality. We have existed in an environment where we have done work for competitive organizations in the private sector, for different political parties, and there is none that could ever say that their information has transcended where it ought not to go. The bottom line is that credibility, confidentiality are key factors in every research organization, and we hold those two things very, very, very sacredly. That is the bottom line, So it's not a secret. We follow the very strict research and professional ethics that govern our profession, and we then pride ourselves on delivering credible information and to ensure that our clients' data is absolutely confidential. My move into political polling was actually initiated by the Honorable Edward Siaga. In the 1980s, when he was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, we used to do some work for a related organization called the Bustamante Institute for Public Affairs, headed by then Hector Winter. We used to do some work because Mr. Seaga wanted to know, well, how is the country progressing, and how are people feeling about things in the country? So that work was channeled through the Bustamante. Told me that the Prime Minister wanted to meet with me that afternoon. I never gotten a call like that before. So I said, it has to be very important. So I dropped whatever I was doing. I headed to Jamaica House, and I was then in the presence of the Prime Minister, Mr. Seaga, Mr. Bruce Golden, Mr. Hugh Shearer. And what was this all about? We had been doing work for the Bustamante Institute of Public Affairs. And I remember Mr. Seaga taking out his little black book, which he's been known to carry around, and he says, well, what's the latest information you have from the Institute's work? When I shared that with him, he said, I'd be pleased to tell you that it's within 2% of the work that Carlstone has generated, and therefore we want you to do some work for us politically. I said, wow. That was my first political poll in the 1980s. And we then worked in the 1989 election, etc., etc., etc. So we have been in the polling business for close to 30 years. We had the benefit of working with Carl, whose shoes people sometimes say I fit for Carl and shoes, He really is the pioneer of all this market research and the political polling in particular in Jamaica. And I'm happy to have said that I've worked along with Carl in 1 or 2 projects. So, for 30 years, we have maintained a position as one of the really strong polling units in the Caribbean. And we have had the benefit of really successful political polls in almost every election in Jamaica. And the basis on which we have been able to garner this kind of reputation is the fact that we have maintained a very, very strong adherence to professionalism throughout. We guide the political parties in terms of what questions and how to shape the questions. Neutrally, not to their benefit, but neutrally so that they can derive the clearest objective data from those polls we do. And in the final analysis, we make a presentation to the respective political parties as to the outcome and the impact. I would like to think that, by and large, those polls that we have done have been used very effectively and efficiently by the respective political parties to determine their own course of action and their own strategy. That obtains to today. I've maintained throughout, and this is something we practice in our organization, we have a very strong team. My opinion is unimportant, and I have my own opinions about the way, the data could look and so on. But the bottom line is that objectivity is the critical single component in doing good research. You have to be objective, And even if you go in there with a mindset which is different from how the data comes out, that's not your business. Your business is to generate the data in the most professional way, using proper sampling techniques, using the controls that are important, quality controls that are important throughout fieldwork, validation, etc. And in the final analysis, however the data comes out, that's what you present. The biggest, most successful, most rewarding, most exciting, most humbling games that I have been to was the Beijing Olympics of 2008.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
I'm Bertrand Rickson. You're watching BATV, Serious About Business.
One of the big studies that we do right now is the Business and Consumer Confidence Survey. We have been running this study from 2001, and it's ongoing. Every quarter we make a presentation to the country as to what is the level of confidence that businesses have, what's the level of confidence that consumers have in the environment. And we therefore now have close to 70 quarters of data. One of the big drawbacks, and it's a pretty obvious situation, one of the big drawbacks to greater development is the whole question, this monster of crime. And when we talk to businesses, they tell us that the single largest deterrent to growth is crime. All right? So there's no question that we have to find a way to harness this big problem. But in a macro way, we're heading in the right direction. But I think the growth that we could possibly achieve is stymied by the crime situation, and they also talk in terms of the level of bureaucracy, which is actually another deterrent. I will tell you though, that when you do political polls and you ask people a strange question, is the country going in the right direction or the wrong direction or what? I don't think we've ever done a study in which the public feels that the country is going in the right direction. And that's a kind of a dissonance, if you wish, but it's very easily explained. Because to a large extent, the general public looks at it from a very personal perspective, how they can manage their own fortunes and their own daily expenditure. And the technocrats and so on look at it from a more macro situation. But from a macro situation, I think we're moving in the right direction. What needs to be done now is to ensure that there's a great trickle down of those apparent benefits to the rank and file of the population. My peers in the market research field honored me by presenting me with a Lifetime Achievement Award for pioneering work in the market research. And it's something that really, struck me as being something really, I'm very proud of that, right? That was in 2003. In 2007, after I'd done 5 Olympic Games, the previous one to that being Athens in 2004, the government saw fit to award me with a national honor, the Order of Distinction Commander Class, CD, for my contribution to sports administration. That was in 2007. And in 2008, I went to, for me, the greatest games of them all, which was Beijing. From 1986, my first major games was the Olympics in Seoul, South Korea, 1988. I was the rookie. The biggest, most successful, most rewarding, most exciting, most humbling games that I have been to was the Beijing Olympics of 2008. I had the real privilege to have led the Jamaica team in the Beijing Games, which of course was the games that was a turning point for us in the Olympic movement, right? One Usain Bolt, of course, took the world by storm. And that stands out to me as the best of the games. I've been to 7, and if you ask me for a ranking of them all, I would say Beijing was by far the best. And I rather liked London again. It had a different kind of flavor. But Sydney, Beijing, and London were the best 3 of the 7 games that I've been to. Fantastic. The Beijing experience was just out of this world. In 2010, I decided I would put all that I have learned and heard about and experienced in a book. And this was before I went to London as the head of the delegation for those games in 2012. I published a book titled Seoul to Beijing, which talks to things that people wouldn't know about unless they were there in the intimate position that I was in. It's what happens behind the scenes, the problems that we work through, and far less on who won which medal. I'm currently, of course, still involved in sports in a big way because I'm chairman of the government's National Sport Museum Development Committee, and we're still to really get some action on that. And for all my sins in sports, I'm now the chairman of the Professional Football Association, which runs the Premier League. That's my current involvement in sport, and of course I went on to sit on a number of Caribbean sporting bodies as a result of my vice presidency. I was the director of the Central American and Caribbean Games. I was the director of the Caribbean Association of National Olympic Committees, and what is not widely known, I'm still a director of KNOC Broadcasting Inc., which was the body that brought the Rio Olympics to the region in 2016. I'm twice married. So in my very first marriage, my former wife unfortunately died 2 years ago, but I've been in a new marriage, pretty stable marriage, since 2003. And my first marriage produced 2 children, and my current marriage has produced 2 beautiful girls, one in high school and one in prep school. They have been a tower of strength to me consistently. I have quite often during my Olympic years had to leave them for extended periods of time, and I don't think anybody is happy with that. I wasn't, they weren't. But the bottom line is that they understood, and they certainly have been a real tower of strength to me in terms of allowing me the opportunity to do what I have done. And I'm still heavily involved in sports, and I feel quite often guilty leaving home or not getting home in time because I know I have my responsibilities there. I'm never, ever, ever, ever not remembered that I have a primary responsibility to my family. As a matter of fact, all my children have become involved in sports in a big way. All right. Karen, my oldest daughter, got to the point where she was Caribbean champion in squash, you know, and my 2 younger girls now are both big swimmers in the Tornadoes Club. My current wife has been with the organization for this is their 26th year. She got into market research right after graduating from university and been with the organization for 26 years. So I've been stepping back, you know, a little bit, not out of there by any means. And she's actually running the company day to day, and I really owe a lot to her for taking the baton, so to speak, and really running the organization in a very efficient way that allows me, first of all, the opportunity to do what I do in terms of lectures and in terms of the involvement in sports, and that to me is immeasurable. Wealth to me is, to a large extent, what you feel inside of you and what you can contribute to society. And to me, I feel a very rich person by virtue of the contribution I make through sports and through my political polling work. I don't measure wealth in terms of how much money you have, but certainly in terms of who you are and what you contribute to society.
Advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market. And that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now in phase one, really what we are saying is, it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now in phase two, you're going to get a return on investment which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
The Starkey Hearing Foundation was founded in 1984 by William Austin, who realized his true calling was to help people hear. As the philanthropic arm of Starkey Hearing Technologies, the foundation provides hearing healthcare to people who are unable to afford it. The foundation has been able to make an impact around the world with the help of thousands of volunteers and supporters. The foundation has now reached the Caribbean, most recently Jamaica. Members of the Starkey Hearing Foundation team, in collaboration with the Digicel Foundation, recently went on a 3-day mission at the Chinese Benevolent Association aimed at providing over 500 Jamaicans with custom hearing aids.
The whole focus for Starkey Hearing Foundation is we have 52 sustainable programs currently worldwide, and the Caribbean region was untouched for them in some way, shape or form. And so This whole year we've been focusing on getting, persons from the region, the Caribbean region, involved in our programs, allowing persons in, islands around the region to receive hearing health care through the Starkey Hearing Foundation. We've been rolling out what we call phase 1s, phase 2s in different parts of the region. We're here in Jamaica today, but we've been to Guyana, we've been to Trinidad and Tobago, we've done St. Kitts Nevis, we've also done Dominica, we've been to St. Croix, US Virgin Islands as well. We are ensuring that the Caribbean region gets the type of hearing health care that is deserving unto them.
Several key team members took part in this mission. One such member is the International Materials Manager, Kevin Ramos.
So what I do as International Materials Manager is I get all materials ready for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, depending on where we're sending them out into the world. So our home base is out of Minnesota. So what I do when I'm in the office is I acquire the materials and then send them out from our home base in Minnesota. When I'm not in the office, it depends on what phase we're in. Whether it be a phase 1 like we're in today, I take impressions. Phase 2, I help our founder, Bill Austin, fit hearing aids and mold. Whether it be phase 3, I do an aftercare type of role. So it really depends on which phase we're on. But I can do it all.
Another member of the team is the International Development Director, Kirk Richards.
As the International Development Director, what I do is go around the Caribbean and work with the Ministry of Health or the Department of Health in all the regions that are within the Caribbean to identify patients that can use our services. And our services is providing hearing health care to those who can afford it. So far we've worked with the Ministry of Health in St. Lucia, Guyana, Trinidad, as well as Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and also St. Croix. Now we're in Jamaica working with the Ministry of Health and also the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, along with the Council for Senior Citizens, along with the Council for Persons with Disabilities. So we've developed a relationship in Jamaica where we've also identified patients that are in need of our services.
The process of creating these custom hearing aids happens in several phases.
End of May we were here, we just did a phase 1 training where we trained nurses from the Ministry of Health as well as from the other organizations to understand the flow or the work that we do. And in so doing, we also identified 100 patients that were pre-selected that received our services that time around. Now we're here doing a phase 1 where we've identified about 650 patients that will be requiring our services with hearing health care.
Today we are happy to be in Jamaica. Can't you tell? I'm Jamaican, right? And we've been enjoying moving through the region, providing hearing health care through Starkey Hearing Foundation. But today in Jamaica, we are doing what we call our phase 1. This is a 4-phase program that we have, community-based program that we offer, right? And so the phase 1 is when we actually have the patients coming in getting their ear impressions done so that they can get custom molds, and we return with these molds after we've sent them off to the factory for what we call our phase 2, and that is where we actually bring back the molds and the hearing aids and fit the patients to ensure that they have the right sound, they get the right volumes and the right sound for them to be fit. So today, phase 1 is the impressions, and you can see around here, you'll see where the patients are being sit down. They actually sit down and they're pumping the otoform in the air. That dries, take it out, put it in the patient bag. They have their ID. That's shipped off, sent to the factory, send them back. The phase 2 process will actually happen before 2017 is over. We are scheduled to be back here early December. So we'll be here early December. These patients will be contacted because we have what is called, in our phase 3, that is part of what's called the aftercare. So in our aftercare, we contact, because all these patients we have in our database. After today, we'd have all patients in our database. So we'll contact these patients and say, okay, it's time for you to come to get your custom molds, and then it's time for you to get fitted for your hearing aid. And that's when you see the magic. So today we're just checking and making sure everybody's ears, we're getting their molds and stuff, but then in December the magic happens. That's when someone gets to hear for the first time, or somebody gets an opportunity at better hearing health care.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
When we heard of the possibility to work with Starkey Foundation, where they were, one, doing testing, providing health solutions, as well as providing the hearing aids themselves, for us, easy, had to.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
For more than 30 years, the Starkey Hearing Foundation has been spreading hearing healthcare across the globe, having visited more than 100 countries to date. Among the thousands of volunteers are celebrities who have donated their time and resources to the work of the foundation. The technology used to create the hearing aids is unique to the foundation.
What we do is a wide frequency audibility test, which is, specific to the Starkey Hearing Foundation, and that allows us to scale this. And it's a simple, scalable type of program. And so to see the patients come out this morning in need was what overwhelmed me, and I was happy to be here knowing very well that people were coming to see how they can help their hearing better. And the thing with hearing healthcare is, obviously, this is the opportunity for someone to possibly mainstream into society at a different, in a much better position. The opportunity to have a job because they're able to communicate, and we take hearing for granted. It's one of those things that you can't see. So someone is deaf, you don't know, or someone has a hearing impairment, it's not visible to the eye. So sometimes we leave persons behind in regards to hearing healthcare, anything to do with, loss of hearing. Hearing is for old people. So many people came through different age groups, So it was really overwhelming to see the amount of persons that came out today, and we were happy to be here, and we'll be here again. And this is an actual continuous model for our program, so it doesn't end this year. So it's not a one-off where we come into the country, give out some hearing aids and leave.
The foundation has formed partnerships with several international foundations over the years. In Jamaica, one major foundation that has collaborated with the Starkey Hearing Foundation on this mission is the Digital Foundation.
Well, Starkey reached out to us because they wanted to do some work here in Jamaica, and they were looking for valuable partnerships. And so they approached us. And for us, it was, I think, easy, because we have been looking for ways that we can really work with the special needs community here in Jamaica. And a big problem is providing assistive aids for persons who either are completely disabled or really just need assistance for them to become more included. And so when we heard of the possibility to work with Starkey Foundation, where they were, one, doing testing, providing health solutions, as well as providing the hearing aids themselves, for us, easy, had to.
The Chinese Benevolent Association also came on board, giving the Starkey Hearing Foundation their full support.
CBA got on board when Tammy and the coordinator for Starkey Foundation
contacted us and was in a dilemma in terms of finding a location for this occasion. And when she contacted us, I told her that I would just check the board because more than likely we'll come on board and assist. The board didn't take too long in terms of okaying that they could come and use the facility here. And basically we try to put out everything at their disposal in order to make this occasion quite comfortable for them and the rest of the people that comes here for the testing.
In an effort to provide better hearing healthcare, one of the tasks undertaken by the volunteers is doing thorough checks of the ears to determine what is causing hearing issues, as there are cases where individuals may not actually need hearing aids.
We were working with Starkey around the entire coordination of the effort. But in addition to the impressions, what they're also doing is looking at screening, looking at cleaning of their ears, because sometimes persons have hearing challenges, but unfortunately, it's not because they really have a development issue. It's because they need to have their ears cleaned, because unfortunately there might be buildup or other issues. And so that is also something that we have to think about. It's a serious health issue. How do we empower persons to take the necessary practices that they need to do to have good ear health? And so with Starkey, we've been looking at coordinating the best efforts so that we can reach as many people as possible. And then the second phase now is, of course, when they come back, for those persons who actually need hearing aids, the fantastic, great opportunity of having these persons get hearing aids so they can hear and function normally.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
I know a lot of Jamaicans will benefit because of the Starkey Foundation. And it's a very good thing that I think all Jamaica will be proud of, and especially CBA, who without a doubt will accommodate them anytime.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The business community has suffered tremendously due to extortion. Some have not just lost their businesses, their jobs, but lost their lives. This is extremely impactful to the growth of our country and to the progress of our people. We are our brother's keeper. Let's put a stop to this. No more use of force. No more use of fear. No more extortion. No more.
Patients who benefit from the Starkey Hearing Foundation will receive continuous support from local health officials, as steps were taken to ensure that they will be well taken care of.
We trained some nurses, aides, and community service workers and volunteers to understand how we do our aftercare services so that these patients will be taken care of through the aftercare program. So after they leave, people will be calling them, check up on them when the hearing aids come. Do you need more batteries? Are the moles hurting you? Whatever it is, pull their information and they'll be contacted to ensure that they are taken care of in aftercare.
The team is satisfied that the first phase of this mission was successful, as the turnout was overwhelming and their services were well received.
So what stood out for me today was just how many patients came out this morning wanting to be, taken care of, wanted to get better hearing health care. And just being Jamaican, I didn't realize how much there is a need for the hearing healthcare, for that type of support that we are offering today. Patients who would not have access to this kind of opportunity.
It's overwhelming. I didn't believe that there could be so many people before 7 a.m. When I came here, the place was full. And I never knew it was so many people without them advertising. And just to come and see so many people on the first day, well, up till 1 o'clock, we had a good amount of people in the compound. So I think it's a very good thing that Starkey had put on, and the CBA was so willing to come and assist.
What stood out for me is really the breadth of the issue. Seeing young persons, seeing children in their school uniforms, seeing the elderly. It really shows that we have to be very mindful of who are vulnerable and look out for those persons, be mindful about what impacts they're having in their lives and see how we can help. The numbers that come out really shows the need that exists. And if you look, you can see young persons, old persons, persons who are born with disabilities, persons who've developed hearing issues over their lifetime, and that really shows the depth and the width of the problem in Jamaica. And so therefore, we want to see how we can provide a solution to what many persons and many Jamaicans are faced with daily.
I know a lot of Jamaicans will benefit because of the Starkey Foundation. And it's a very good thing that I think all Jamaica will be proud of, and especially CBA, who without a doubt will accommodate them anytime. All the volunteers are well prepared for this occasion as well, as I can see, how they're operating. And things are running smoothly, and no doubt about it, everybody will get through in a short time.
All the elements that came together to make this mission possible could not have happened without partnerships, and the Starkey Hearing Foundation is very grateful for those who have come on board to assist.
Today would not have been possible had it not been for our partners on the ground. It takes a lot for us to come into the country and bring supplies and fly the team in from overseas. I mean, it's a really major production, lots of logistics. And so today we're so grateful that we would have had partners who would have seen the vision, like the Giselle Foundation, who assisted us with a lot of the costs that we had, for this mission. They supported us with, today. With thanks, of course, to the JPS Foundation, assisting with the patient food. So the patients came today. They sat through like a clinic style, we went through from morning till afternoon, and they were fed thanks to the Jamaica Public Service Foundation. I want to thank also the CBA for, heavily discounting this venue and allowing us to use the premises for 3 days, almost at a minimal cost, and that was important to us as well. So, I mean, with all the partners involved, we really have the opportunity to serve our patients, and together we are able to do so much more. In the words of our founders, our founder Bill Austin says that, alone you can do so much, but together we can do way more, and so, I mean, that's me summing up what he says. But for sure, that it's really teamwork today. So apart from the Starkey Hearing Foundation being here today, we thank our partners, the Giselle Foundation, for sure, for handling loads of our costs and the other ones that have been helpful,
Seeing the turnout today has been amazing. As always, with registration, there's always a big craziness when you get here and everybody's all here early. But we've managed to get everybody checked in. Right now we're probably less than about 30 patients outside waiting to see us. So the majority of everybody is inside. So we're a little bit backed up with the different stations. So all hands on deck right now as we go through and get things set up. We're happy about the turnout that we've seen today, and really looking forward to the relationships that we're forming, especially with Digicel. The Digicel Foundation has been very instrumental in what we're doing, and we really look forward to what we'll be doing in the future. thank you to the Ministry of Health for helping us with volunteers and nurses that are here today to participate in the mission. Patients have also come through the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, so volunteers coming from there as well. Also, thank you to the Caribbean Hearing Center, which Dr. Beavers is in charge of. She's very instrumental in helping us today. And as we go through, we're looking forward to continued working relationship and partnership with the different organizations that are going to help this program succeed. The only way we can make this program sustainable is through the resources and the partnership of the local partners we have on the ground. Definitely looking forward for what the future holds for Jamaica and for the Starkey Hearing Foundation as we partnership to bring better hearing to the people of Jamaica.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got the chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people living in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
Push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do. Give them startup capital to start their business. Invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The Poverty Reduction Program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up. Try to help them teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run, it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.
On Point is brought to you by Dargin Global.
A very good evening and welcome to another episode of On Point. I'm your host, Patria K.
And I'm Dennis Jones.
And there's lots happening, but certainly a lot happened last week in Jamaica. Top of the list for you?
For me, because I was in the board meeting, it touches my heart, the matter of the truck that fell on the school child.
7 years old at Clancarty.
Yeah, that one was, I mean, it wasn't our truck. It wasn't operated by NSWMA. We were at board meeting at the time, and when we heard the news, I mean, everyone was just saddened by it, because we just felt the tragedy. We actually sent a management team there, even though we confirmed it wasn't ours, but we know that it was something. Once it has to do with garbage, then people are going to focus on NSWMA, and we knew that we had to do something about it.
You can't be human and not feel after seeing that tragedy. You can't be human and not spare a thought for his little 7-year-old classmates, for the entire school population at Clancarty, his parents. No parent should ever have to bury a child. I've been there, it hurts.
No. I mean, when you send a child to school and then, that happens, is
freak
really
out students, if ever there was one.
Yeah.
An interesting move announced by Sagicor that they are actually going to be allowing some of their workers to work from home.
Yeah.
That, I think, is a really good move. I come to understand that there are some government entities who've already taken the lead in 2014. eGov makes sense. They are the electronic platform of the government. I mean, they decided that workers could work from home.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I mean, when someone works from home, their time is more productive. They don't have to travel in the horrendous traffic that we have out there.
Or add to it.
Right, and it costs them less, because they can just get up, once they have the discipline and start working, they're a lot more productive. It's a lot more friendly because they can now work